Welcome to WinSouls TV. This is your host, Jeff Thomas. Now we are just going to jump right on into it today. Now the message today has to do with setting standards or putting standards or even unreasonable standards and expectations on people. Now we're going to be coming out of two places in the Word, and that is Romans 12:5. Also, Proverbs 10:4. Now, in life, and especially in the world, and especially a lot of motivational speakers, we hear a very specific message. We hear, hey, you put your feet to the grindstone, you get after it, you push, you work hard. You just get after it, and then you'll finally have success, and you'll be wherever you want to be in your life, and this, that, and the other. And there is some truth in that, simply because Proverbs 10:4 says that lazy hands makes for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. So there is a lot of truth in that. Once you work hard, you take specific steps in wherever the Lord wants you to move. Hey, guess what? You're going to have that success. You're going to have that success but just realize that success comes with knowing that it's all coming from God. Everything that you encounter is all God's, and everything that you obtain is all the Lord's anyway. See what I'm saying? So with that said, once we begin to have some level of success in our life, once we begin to push, once we begin to see those levels of success, once we begin to have things that other people don't have, and money, we begin to view other people differently. You see, we begin to view other people differently, even to the extent of viewing our brothers and sisters differently. And I'm definitely guilty of this. And by viewing them differently, one of the things that we begin to do is we begin to put our standard on that specific individual, when in reality, we need to be walking alongside them. And that was a hard lesson I had to learn, brothers and sisters, because I am a hardcore, intense individual in real life. I like to get to it. But the Lord had to tell me, look, their standard isn't necessarily your standard. And let me tell you why. This is where Romans 12:5 comes in. It says, so we, who are many, are nevertheless just one body in Christ. And individually, we are parts one of another, mutually dependent on each other. And that is the Amplified version. Now, what is that saying? What that's saying is all of us have specific callings. All of us have specific gifts. All of us have specific directions that the Lord wants to take us in. So my direction that I move hardcore in, I can't place that specific standard on you, especially if I'm walking alongside you. Why? Because the Lord may be calling you in a specific direction. Now, there are some universal things that are universal in the Word. You see what I'm saying? That are not going to change, but there's a specific path that the Lord wants you specifically to walk in that has nothing to do with me. And if I try to force my expectation and my willpower and I guess my will in your life, it's not about my will. It's about His will. His will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Not Jeff's will be done in this person's life or the next. It's God's will. And so when we try to push that individual in a specific direction, if we're not being led of the Lord, the very best thing that we can do is walk alongside them, allow the Lord to set that standard for them, and just sit alongside them. Sit alongside them, let them make their own decisions, but then also Lead them in that direction by doing the word yourself. Doing the word yourself. And also in Romans 12, it talks about how there is no specific part of the body that is better than any other. We are all dependent upon ourselves. And if you look at upon ourselves as one body in Christ, and if you look at marriages, this is a perfect example. Usually like-minded individuals that are fully like-minded do not get along. They do not get along. They butt heads constantly. But usually good, really, really good marriages, there's one specific figure that is strong in one area, and then there's another one that is strong in another. And this person's weakness is this person's strength. So they complement each other very well. I think that we should all move in this specific direction. It's the outline of Jesus. It is the outline that the Lord would have us follow. You guys be blessed and have a good one. And let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Goodbye.